We often think that our actions have impact solely on ourselves. Likely it is not always the case. Strategic and tactical decisions in business are often made regardless of the ongoing circumstances and trends in the market. This is especially true if business is doing well. Then we are tempted to protect our market share by doing and selling the same thing that actually has made us successful in the past. This may lead to a death spiral. We ignore weak signals about changing environment or new trends until it's too late. And in the end, we will struggle with our business. Hi, I'm Hannu Törmänen, your product team coach. In a previous video, I discussed plan, do, study, act, or PDSA cycles, and how it is a great tool to run controlled experiments in a controlled environment, like your research lab or product development. You can find the link to that video in the description or from a link up here. The way we see the world, our mental models or paradigms can become easily static because we humans are inclined to preserve energy and let us go easily without too much thinking. And when we see some changes in our environment, we may first think they are only temporary, so we would not have to overthink the needed change. So if we have been successful in the past, we can easily apply a certain mental model to overcome problems. We can have some limiting beliefs that our environment will remain static and consistent. And when we are going to do the same things because they have worked so well in the past, we will offer our customers the same products, services, because it pays off. But at the same time, someone may disrupt our business and we are not aware about it. So this brings us to a concept of OODA loops, which takes us away from our limited beliefs and thinking that we live in this closed system, and it will challenge our mental models. The acronym OODA comes from observe, orient, decide, act. The OODA loop was originally created by US Army Captain John Boyd for air fighters in combat. You can imagine war or combat can be very chaotic, and how you fight has direct impact in your and your enemy's environment. But I'm not going to talk about how to fight a war with OODA loop. Let's first think and get a closer and more generic look at the steps in OODA loops. The first step in the OODA loop is to observe. What this essentially means is gathering new information and catalyze our thinking. By observing and taking into account new information about our changing environment, our minds become an open system rather than a closed one. So as a result, we are able to gain crucial knowledge and understanding to build new mental models. Even if we have a perfect information available, it has no value unless we understand what it means. And if we cannot really see the patterns behind the information. Without judgment, data means nothing. It is not necessarily the one with more information who will win. It is the one with better judgment and the one who is better in observing patterns. For example, we can see the patterns how consumers are changing their purchasing behavior toward certain types of products, like buying, for instance, low-fat milk instead of high-fat milk due to health trends. So our mental models, our paradigms, have a big impact how we process new information and understand it. Our mental models easily become doctrines, and if they never change, they become dogmas. Orient is the phase when we have our past experience, cultural backgrounds, and genetic heritage in the play. Our doctrines or dogmas also play a role here, but they are getting challenged. So how does one orient himself in a rapidly changing environment? You constantly have to break apart your old paradigms or mental models and put the resulting pieces back together to create a new perspective that better matches your current reality. We form new mental concepts which more closely align with what we have observed in reality, what is really happening around us. Sometimes our existing mental models work, and sometimes not. We may receive new data during the observe phase, and we don't really fully understand it. And that is why we can react in a way that is not correct. So we make false assumptions about the reality according to our existing mental model. During orientation, we should embrace destruction and deduction of existing mental models. Our previous mental models become also quickly obsolete as we continuously stay in our OODA loop. Actors decide among action alternatives generated in the orientation phase. It is a component where an imperfect decision is made according to our chosen mental model in orientation phase. It is merely a hypothesis that we will be testing in the next phase. You can also make a decision about timing and speed about the last phase in the OODA loop. The last phase of the OODA loop is ACT. Now ACT is the phase when we test our hypotheses with the selected mental model. The action we take has an impact on the environment, and if we are facing an opponent or a competition, others will see and feel our actions too. We will validate our thinking in the ACT phase. To act is powerful, and you will change and challenge your environment. In fact, you can enter your competitor's OODA loop by acting. In the worst case, your opponent can enter your OODA loop and mess up your mental models completely. Then you need to adapt and make adjustments to your own thinking, and that will take time and effort. Let's take, for example, a political campaign or elections. There can be political arguments or claims which can make a candidate's mental model shake, like placing corruption or harassment accusations. Those accusations may come out of the blue and can change the game. The funny thing is that all accusations need not to be even completely true, but the accused candidate would need to think when and how to respond to those accusations. You can also apply OODA loops in marketing campaigns, like placing an ad telling why people should choose your product over competitors' product. And because the OODA loop is a loop, you re-enter the loop all over and over with new information. You reorient and decide and act again. So, this was a short explanation how OODA loops work. I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I see OODA loops can be a strategic and tactical tool in a complex environment. How an OODA loop would look like in your environment. In business, how do we gather information about the markets, our customers, and your competitors? How do you work with the new information and reorient yourself? Maybe you already do something similar, but you haven't really thought about there may be a model behind it. Let me know in the comments below. Many thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.